system and give their work a longer, more durable trail by publishing those ideas in best-selling books or founding research centers to explore those ideas, and before long the system arrives at a phase transition. Isolated hunches and private obsessions coalesce into a new way of looking at the world, shared by thousands of individuals. We are now in the midst of that phase transition. The point at which a solid, say, suddenly melts into liquid, or airborne moisture cools just enough to become a rainstorm. Emergence is what happens when a multitude of little things, neurons, bacteria, people, exhibit properties beyond the ability of any individual simply through the act of making a few basic choices. Left or right, attack or ignore, buy or sell. The ant colony is the classic example, of course. This meta-organism possesses abilities and intelligence far greater than the sum of its parts. The colony knows when food is nearby or when to take evasive action or, amazingly, just how many ants need to leave the colony to forage for the day's food or ward off an attack. Our own brains are another amazing example of emergence. Somehow, approximately 1/3 of the 20,000 or so different genes that make up the human genome are expressed in the brain and direct development of tens of billions of neurons. Each neuron, while relatively complex, isn't conscious or very smart. Somehow, these neurons, when connected, together create an amazing network that is not only greater than the sum of its parts, but is able to be so conscious that we can even think about thinking. While the question of how the brain actually works is still hotly debated, it is clear that thinking and consciousness, the mind, can emerge from networks of less sophisticated parts connected together in the right way. The natural world abounds in other demonstrations of collective cognitive processes too. Schooling fish, flocking birds, swarming locusts, all display emergent properties. Life itself is an emergent property, the result of molecules, carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids going about their business. A lipid never turned to a protein and said, "We need to get organized. We should all get together in the form of an awkward hairless biped named Jeff." The lipid just wants to store energy or link up with other lipids to create a cell membrane. Emergent systems aren't new, of course, and their study goes back to the ancient Greeks. And emergence isn't just a natural phenomenon. From the scale of an entire city, humans are just like ants, scurrying to and fro, making small-scale decisions without a thought to civic consequences. Which, in fact, is what makes cities such magical environments. No single intelligence could have orchestrated the ferment of the Bywater in New Orleans, or the complex styles of Tokyo's Shibuya district. The traffic roundabout relies on emergence, as does the continual evolution of human communication. Again, no single mind, except possibly William Shakespeare's, could create the constant stream of linguistic innovations that cohere into the myriad forms of any single language. The most obvious example of an emergent system created by humans is the economy, which clearly exhibits attributes that no individual could control. We tend to think of markets as little more than the site at which buyers meet sellers to conduct their business. But as Austrian economist Friedrich Hayek observed in a 1945 paper regarded as one of the foundational texts of information theory, markets do something far more valuable. They gather and utilize knowledge which is widely dispersed among individuals, Hayek writes. Each member of society can have only a small fraction of the knowledge possessed by all, and each is therefore ignorant of most of the facts on which the working of society rests. The market, in Hayek's view, is the accidental aggregation machine that humans created in order to conquer intelligence. By Hayek's reckoning, the price of a stock is the encapsulation of all the information known about that company at any time, compounded by what is understood about the relative stability of the world itself. The stock market was the greatest information system of all time until the Internet came along.